Take a look at these two pictures. What do you see? Some might take a look at the first and see clutter, over-complexity, and just outdated, bloated hardware. The second might seem clean, minimalistic, and simple. But here's the question, what looks more fun? One of these looks like a physical experience, while the other looks like a sterile doctor's office where I can't touch or enjoy anything. Here's the deal. Both pictures depict a place in which we are supposed to enjoy music and entertainment. My question is, what the heck happened to high fidelity audio? Let's talk about this. My name's Isaac. I'm a music producer and a composer and just a general audio enthusiast. Growing up in the early 2000s, I lived in a middle-class house in a middle-class town near an average city in an average state, but that's about where the average ended. My mom was an artist and a homeschool curriculum creator and publisher. I had 15 siblings and more pets than I could count. And my dad was a musician, a live audio engineer, computer technician, and owned a home theater installation business. But we didn't grow up with like TV like all my friends did. No, in my living room was a whole bunch of instruments, my dad's 100 CD disc changer, and a pair of high-end bookshelf speakers. And I remember just sitting there and cycling through albums, just soaking it all in. There was something almost ritualistic about just sitting down and listening to music with intention. When I think about those days, I realized that part of the experience wasn't just the music, it was the act of listening itself, like taking the time to put on an album and just sit and engage with the music without any distraction. It felt intentional. Nowadays, music is just background noise, like something to fill silence as we multitask, or just something to give us like motivation while we exercise or do homework. Bluetooth speakers, earbuds, TV sound bars, and just even car stereos have just become the prominent way that we as people consume music and media, and I hate that. The art of high fidelity listening has become just a lost art form, and I think we've traded in something truly special for the sake of just convenience. So how did we go from speakers that filled rooms with rich, immersive sound to these just tiny little earbuds, sound bars, and just Bluetooth speakers that literally ruin the experience? And the worst part is, I don't think we know any better. I mean, back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, why did I have to be born in the generation with garbage audio? Back in those times, the audio experience was prized and I guess just important. Just listening to a new album by your favorite band was a reason to, crack open a cold one and just listen. And now, don't get me wrong, Bluetooth speakers, sound bars, and earbuds, whatever, they have their place. I get it. They're convenient, they're portable, they're user-friendly. But when it comes to just appreciating music and movies and games, like the way they were meant to be enjoyed, these devices don't hold a candle to real sound systems. Like, no matter how good they're marketed to be, there's no escaping the fact that they lack the depth and the imaging and the accuracy of a true stereo sound system. And let me explain. When you listen to a well-produced track on a proper speaker system, you can close your eyes and almost visualize every instrument and vocal that exists in the space. You can pinpoint where the drummer is sitting, where the guitarist is just shredding it up, and where the vocalist is just pouring their heart out. That is stereo imaging, the ability to create a sound stage that feels real and tangible. But with most Bluetooth speakers and sound bars, that stereo imaging and the sound stage is just gone. The sound is just crammed together and you're left with just a flat, compressed experience. And people don't even realize they're missing the intricate details, like the subtle reverb tails, the quiet harmonies, and the way the snare drum smacks and resonates. Did you even know that snare drums have these little metal wires that resonate when you hit the snare or any other piece of the drum kit? Without it, the entire kit sounds totally different. Music is produced on high-end speakers with the intention that you'll hear all of this, but most people never do. So why did we abandon true, good, home audio? Is it because it's too complicated? Does it take up too much space? I mean, yeah, it can be bulky, but I think it looks beautiful. They kind of become part of the room's identity. I mean, are people really happy with the sound quality they get from tiny wireless devices? Or could it be, and this is a bit of a hot take, that most people just don't know what good sound quality is anymore. I had the luxury of growing up in a family that valued high quality audio, but I think most people didn't. And I get it, high-end audio is expensive and somewhat complex. Not everyone has the time or the money to invest in a high fidelity setup. But here's the thing, a quality speaker system allows you to experience music and movies like it was made to be experienced. It's not just clear sound, it's an emotional, immersive experience. You feel like you're there in the middle of a live performance or right inside the scene that the director crafted just for you. You hear new details that you didn't know existed, or like even in songs that you've listened to 1,000 times. And yes, a good system might cost more than a Walmart TV and a soundbar from Amazon. But remember those two photos we looked at the beginning of this video? What if I told you that those two setups cost about the same? Yes, it takes up space, but the benefits, deeper, more visceral bass that you can feel, not just hear. You can play loud without harshness or distortion. You develop a genuine emotional connection to the content that you consume. It's an investment that pays you back every day. But here's my favorite part of this and why I think high fidelity audio needs to make a comeback. It's because there's a community aspect to this. People who love high fidelity audio, who invest in their system, love to share that experience. That could be showing off a new vinyl record or hosting a movie night, also to getting a little overexcited about their new digital to analog converter. All that to say, there's a shared appreciation that connects people. That shared experience is something you don't really get by just tossing a Bluetooth speaker on a table and streaming the latest Taylor Swift album. Taylor deserves better. So, if you're curious and you want to dip your toes into better sound, there are options. And you don't even have to drop a couple $1,000s. My channel's biggest sponsor, SVS, has the Prime Wireless Pros. It's a great entry-level, standalone set of speakers. You don't need all the extra gear like cables, amps, and DACs, just plug and play. The Prime Wireless Pros have all the connectivity and ease of use of any soundbar or Bluetooth speaker, with the added benefit that they're an actual pair of speakers. They also have the option to connect a subwoofer with just a single cable. I pair them with the SVS SB1000 Pro subwoofer, and you've got a setup that'll just blow most soundbars just completely out of the water. Because there's real stereo imaging and soundstage with true tonal accuracy that will make a difference in your listening. And if you want to upgrade further, there are more advanced options, but it doesn't have to be complicated. But between you and me, if you do want to get into the weeds a little, and that is where the fun is, here's a few things you gotta know. And let me show you my setup as an example. My go-to speakers that I use for music production and mixing are the SVS Ultra Evolution Towers. 8 total bass drivers, 4 mid-range drivers, and 2 diamond-coated tweeters to handle the high end. All driven by an all-in-one amp, digital to analog converter, Bluetooth combo, the SVS Prime Wireless Sound Base. This provides plenty of power to drive most any speaker, while keeping the same level of ease of use and connectivity. I also have my living room setup where I have my Prime Wireless Pros with the SB1000 Pro sub. I plug in my TV with an optical cable, which is a digital connection, and my turntable through RCA cables, an analog connection, and then Bluetooth for streaming. All the digital to analog conversion is done within the speakers themselves. Unlike the Prime Wireless Pros, most speakers are passive. That means they can't play music by themselves. You can't just plug into the wall and connect via Bluetooth. You need an amplifier. The amp accepts the audio source and sends the audio and the power to drive the speakers together to the speakers themselves. This can be a single dedicated unit in a large chain of devices, or it can be inside an all-in-one device like the SVS Prime Sound Base. You'll also need a way to play your music and your media. That can be your TV, a turntable, a CD player, wireless connection like Bluetooth or Apple's AirPlay, a radio, cassette player, reel-to-reel deck, 10-inch, 12-inch, 7-inch vinyl, and they all need a way to plug into your system. Now, speakers are an analog device. That means it's not a computer, it's a physical object that operates mechanically. In this case, by electricity interfacing with magnets that move a cone, which then makes the music come out of the speakers. So a music player like a cassette player or a turntable won't need any digital to analog conversion because they're already analog.
What did you just ask me?
What's this thing? It looks like some ancient history storyteller.
This is a cassette tape.
But a CD player or your TV, which is digital, will. Now, thankfully, most digital devices have a digital to analog converter or DAC built in, but not all of them. So you gotta make sure that's taken into account when you are upgrading your system. For me, these setups offer the most flexibility while still being user-friendly, and also they sound ridiculously good. But they're also at the lower end of the hi-fi price point. So if you're getting to the end of this video and you're thinking, is it really worth it? Consider this. We spend so much time and energy and money on visual experiences, 4K TVs, gaming monitors, VR headsets, etc. But sound makes up a huge part of the experience. It's like watching a beautiful movie with the brightness turned all the way down, trying to discern what's going on in a scene after your kid got done eating a pack of cheese sticks and then got curious what a TV screen feels like. Don't ask me how I know. There's also the added benefit that real audio gear tends to hold its value. There are speakers and amps from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and just any era that are still in demand today. And if price is an issue, you can find all kinds of awesome deals on eBay or Facebook Marketplace where you can get a solid setup for under $400 if you know what you're looking for. We've given up so much in the name of convenience, but it's not too late to reclaim some of that magic. So maybe next time you listen to your favorite album, try it on a real set of speakers. You might be surprised at what you've been missing. If you want to check out any of the items mentioned in this video, there are links in the description. I reached out to SVS to sponsor this channel because I knew they had the same heart that I did to bring high quality listening back to the mainstream. So if you want to dive in, go check out everything that SVS has to offer. And I do want to give a fair warning. Once you've taken the step to enjoy audio the way it was designed to be listened to, the world will not feel the same. You'll go about your life wondering how everyone is just fine listening to their favorite music through their TV's built-in speakers or AirPods or whatever. And it might drive you a little crazy, but you'll know what they're missing. And maybe you can just open up someone's eyes to what music and high fidelity sound could sound like. And yeah. Anyway, rant over. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.